Hello friends, welcome back. I'm going to talk a little bit about some curl techniques today. So I'm going to show you how to make a nice soft brushed out curl, and I'm going to show you how I do that to make it last. So I've already done a little curling on this gal, and I've talked about in other videos that we want to make sure we have prepped the hair thoroughly beforehand. So I talk about that in some of my other videos, so I'm not going to go in depth in that today. But for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to take sections across the back. We're gonna take the thickness based on how thick the girl's hair is. So if she's got really thick hair, you wanna take smaller sections. Thinner hair, you can take bigger sections. And we're gonna curl all in one direction, going across the back of her head to create a nice, even wave. So the most important thing for longevity is that we use a combination of hairspray and texture spray. So I'm brushing through first, and then each section I'm gonna go through with hairspray, and then I'm gonna brush through again, okay? And then what we wanna do is curl, and we're gonna curl with our curling iron and hold it vertically like so. And you just wanna walk through till you get the hair up to as high as you want the wave to start. So if you don't want the wave to start this high, you can start in the middle of the hair shaft. But for this one, we're gonna start higher, okay? Hold it. If you drop the hair and the curls hardly hold, then start again and hold it longer. This one I know her hair curls pretty quick. So I'm gonna turn it upside down, drop the curl in my hand, and let it sit here just a moment, because I want the heat to stay in here before I let it stretch out. Now I'm gonna go through and do the same thing again. So I'm gonna take another section, comb through, and then I'm gonna spray this. You notice I'm gonna switch combs. So I like my three row comb, 3 prongs, 3 rows, 3 rows of combs, of teeth in the comb. Thank you, okay. And then same thing, we're gonna curl all the way up, walk the hair through. I can see there's like a little kink in the hair right here. If this was a real bride, I would start again. So if I saw a little small kink like this, I would take this out, brush it, and start it again, because that kink will most definitely show. But for time's sake, I'm gonna leave it today. All right, we're gonna let that go. So you can see they're at the same starting point. And you'll do this all the way across. So we'll do one more, so you can see. It's very important to use the hairspray each section. You'll find that it's not holding as well. You can find that it starts to get frizzy sometimes. The only exception would be on like a really, really over processed hair. Sometimes it tends, even a light hold hairspray can get to be too much. Or hair that's really fine and just hold the curl super well. But for the most part, as a rule of thumb, when you're working with brides and you need longevity, you want to use hairspray on each section and brush it through. And then hold it a nice long time so that curl really gets locked in. So it's time intensive. Hair down, I mean, I often get people email brides that will say like, oh, is there a different price if it's not gonna be up, if they just want some curls. Whenever somebody says, I just want curls, I'm like, those take longer than an updo. Not always, but a lot of times they do take longer than an updo, because you have to sit with each curl and be really meticulous. So you can see we've got our 3 curls here. Now I already know, because I wasn't standing in the same position, I was standing over here the whole time. You see how they get higher? So my curl starts a little lower here and gets higher. If I was standing with the correct body position directly behind my curl as I went, it would be much more even. So you're gonna notice that they kind of slope because my body position wasn't quite correct. So what I like to do for a brushed out curl is I don't just come at it and go for the brush right away. First, I'm gonna spray with the texture spray. That helps just to lock in some hair without making it frizzy, giving us some extra support, some extra hold, but having it be flexible, unlike what a hairspray can do. And then I'm gonna go and break up each curl with this prong comb first. So the reason I do this is because unless you know for sure how the hair is gonna respond, sometimes you can come in with your big brush and you can just ruin your curls, because some hair just can't handle it. And so if you start small like this and kind of break through, you can see if the curl is gonna withhold it. So if you start to brush with this and it's not holding up, then you know you need to go back in and curl again, or you know that she might need some extensions to support this hairstyle, or this hairstyle might not be for her. But rather than curl the entire head and then come through with a brush and watch all your curls collapse, which has happened to me before, I like to do this step first because it just shows that these are gonna hold. So you can see that these are gonna hold up because they haven't collapsed with me just using this. Now I'm gonna be heavy-handed with the texture spray. I'm gonna go through one more time. Now that these are broken up, I'm going through again because more hair is dispersed now to kind of soak in some of this texture spray. And now, and only now that I've broken them up, will I come in with either my paddle brush or this comb. So kind of depending on how brushed out I want them to be. If you want them really brushed out, then the paddle brush is great. If you want to have a little more control, then using a comb will work. Let's do the paddle brush today. So I'm going to hold it under my hand and start to bring these all together. And you can see that they all start to come together. And if you notice, it goes up, like I said. Now, depending on how this bride wants it, if she wants to just kind of have a brushed out look that has a little bounce to it, this is gonna look great, okay? You can move on and go to the next row. But if she wants it to be more cohesive, then what you're gonna wanna do is back comb a little bit underneath. So I'm gonna pull through this a little bit more with this comb. You can see it brings it together a little bit more. And I'll gently back comb behind, and that kind of brings it together. And same with down here. So sometimes you have to kind of work it over your hand a little bit. And this didn't quite come together, so I'm gonna back comb a little bit more. Like that, and you can spread it out. And that gives you more of that cohesive glam wave look. So once you've done that, then you can come through with your hairspray and finish, okay? Now, the one thing to think about here is I know this can feel worrisome, like, okay, but you only have like a glam wave right here, but all this hair on top is gonna start making your next wave pattern. So you've got it started up here. This next row will give you another section of waves and then another section of waves as you work. If this is too big, then you go down to a smaller curling iron. So the curling iron I was using today was 1.25 inches. If you want it to be tighter, a lot more waves, you go down to 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and so forth. So that's how you decide the size of your curls. But overall, this is pretty versatile. I'm just gonna brush through again so you can kind of see how much good bounce this gets. So you can you can work it, you know? You can work these a little bit more and you have more bounce. And the original curl can kind of come back too if you don't want to have the Hollywood glam wave and you want to have more of a just kind of like bouncy big curl going all the way through. But like I said in the beginning, if you curl it and find that it collapses right away before you even get to the brushing part, this is not going to work for your bride. So I would say you need to have a really honest conversation because there is just some hair types that no matter how much hairspray you use, how much texture spray, like the fanciest curling irons, all the technique, you're not gonna get this bounce and this nice curl because the hair, it will just not do it. So I think being able to know what you're looking for right off the bat when you're working on this lower section, especially in a trial run, so you can have that honest conversation, is really important. So you don't get to the wedding day and you're standing behind her and you brush through and you're like, it's not working, okay? So that is my advice for these type of curls. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'm happy to answer. And if you want more support with learning the foundational techniques that will help you do all updos, you've got to be part of my Intro to Bridal Hair Bootcamp. I've got a wait list on my website, updocollective.com. You can always reach me at theupdocollective@gmail.com. My name is Heidi. I'm happy to be with you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.